the Lions and the Cowboys. It's the first one we're going to look at. Lions and Cowboys, I mean, that's a really fun game. And that's a game that's probably been circled by each fan base throughout the entire season is, hey, if we win this one, we can make some real noise here. Like that is one that could come back in the playoffs, maybe a rematch. Dallas got off to a little bit of a slower start than we expected. Detroit 3-1. I mean, great record, but not sure we've really seen the peak Lions either. Detroit's a 3-point favorite in this game. Quickly, we just wanted to say some injuries, just because it's good to be up to date on those. Frank Ragnow and Brian Branch both returned to practice. Micah Parsons did not practice, and of course, Brandon Cooks and DeMarcus Lawrence are on IR. So when figuring out, like what we're going to say about this game, just keep in mind some big time injuries. Even though a few of them should be playing. The thing to me, guys, though, when I'm looking at this game, I think Detroit's just going to absolutely maul them in the trenches. And sort of what you've seen Detroit do a few times this year is play bully ball. I'm thinking, remember that drive against the Rams to win it? When David Montgomery ended my fantasy team's night and just like ran down the throat of LA. There we go. I was about to say it again. On the way to a game-winning touchdown for the Lions. I kind of expect them to do this the entire day to the Dallas defense, who has just been absolutely gashed on the ground this year. They're last in opponent rush EPA, 29th in opponent rush success rate. There's some beasts up front for Detroit. This screams Lions in the points to me.
Oh, me too. Which means I'm a little nervous and kind of running away from it. But these last 2 weeks, Dallas, they beat the Giants barely. They beat the Steelers barely and haven't looked good. Pittsburgh turned over Dak 3 times. Detroit is now a different animal. One of the better teams in football. Dallas has lost the last 3 games at home after being undefeated there last year. I don't care as much now.
That's a good stat, Jack.
Yeah,
that's a really good stat.
I don't care that Dallas now is at home because they haven't shown me they can win at home. It doesn't matter. Detroit is the much better team right now. Last year, these two teams played. Remember that? Dallas won by a point. CeeDee Lamb had...
That was the 2-point conversion game.
Yeah.
And also just... I'm sorry, you can finish that before I rant.
Well, CeeDee Lamb had one of the best games of his career. He had about 240 yards last year. Now Detroit has Terry and Arnold and Carlton Davis.
Yeah.
I believe... it's an upgrade.
It's better.
Yeah. And I think the only way Dallas can win this game is if CeeDee has 300 yards.
Well, and that's going to be what the Cowboys are going to be looking for because their run game is terrible. Detroit's run defense is excellent. So it's going to come down, as you say, to whether Dak is able to get it done against the Lions secondary. And he can't be excited about the fact that Aiden Hutchinson is having a breakout year, 6.5 sacks, currently the leading candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. You talk about guys who've had this game circled. Well, the Cowboys are coming off of 2 pretty brutal physical games. The Lions are coming off of a bye. Mm-hmm. I would not be excited if I were Dak Prescott about arrested Aiden Hutchinson and a Lions team that has had 2 weeks to prepare coming after me.
The Dallas offense has just been unexciting the entire season. Outside of CeeDee Lamb, I think Jalen Tolbert actually stepped up in a big way against the Steelers. He had the game-winning touchdown, right? He went 7 for 10 on 10 targets and 87 yards and a touchdown there. So he had a good game, but I just don't think there's enough. Brandon Cooks being out is a big blow. So I'm with you, Jack. I think CD needs to be great. And he was in the championship game for fantasy last year. That was an unbelievable game.
No, but he has to be like, he has to repeat that.
And Dak needs to be unbelievable. And Dak has not been unbelievable so far. But yeah, the run game is horrible. Like what are you going to do? Detroit, where's Detroit in rush defense this year? They're 4th in the league right now. And Dallas's offense is 31st in rushing. So there's only so much optimism you could really have in this game. If you're a Cowboy fan, again, if you win and you are at home, if you win, you're right back in it because Detroit's a big time contender. But just from a statistical analysis, which isn't really what like me and you do, Jack, that's like Ziggy's realm on this show. Statistically speaking, though, this feels like Detroit should be able to punish them.
No, and it's blindingly obvious, right? To put on the other side, Detroit is 6th in rushing yards per game. They're 4th in their past 3 games. The Cowboys' run defense per PFF is 32nd in the league, dead last. So it's a terrible, stylistic matchup for the Cowboys.
You paid Dak $60 million. Go win the game.
Assuming there's no Micah Parsons and there's no DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah. I forgot about that. No, I'm saying I forgot about it. I forgot Micah might not play. Assuming
there's no Micah and we know there's no DeMarcus Lawrence, this is a different type of team than the Giants and Steelers and their high school offenses. Like there's not a world where Dallas stops Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't Marshawn Nealand either, right? Another injury on that defensive line.
Yep. It takes a great Dak performance.
I mean,
it's going to take one.
This gets ugly to me, this game.
If Dallas wins, though, we're going to be here on the power rankings, so they're going to be like 8, 7, or 6. Like
they'll
be in the top 10.
They'll be like
sure.
3 if they win this game.
For sure, if they win this game.
3 straight wins, beating the Lions, yeah.
But you pay Dak $60 million to win games like this. I know that they're shorthanded, but he probably won't.
Dak sucks.